Okay, I am back. All right, so we are having storms and the Wi-Fi is shady, shaky, and some more stuff, okay? So we're going to keep on going. So the question that I had left off at when we was out here on part one is, are David and Chris still friends? Okay, so as I left off, we heard Chris saying that David being friends with David is kind of like herpes. Once you have it, it will never go away. Next thing he said was he is on to David's BS. He said that, at first he wasn't on to it. He wasn't hip to the game that David was running. But then, you know what? He was like, you know what? I'm hip to it. My wife done got me hip to it. I ain't got time for it. I done found out about him. I done peeped his card out and all that old good stuff. He said that David wanted to use, even he said David wanted to use one of his cars, or David wanted him to buy him a car so that he could do Uber. What? How you gonna do Uber on somebody else's ride? Now I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know whether or not, he meant that or was he playing? But allegedly, David wanted him to give him a car. Now, Ashley, I see you out here. I usually don't, you know what I'm saying, bother you. But you're going to have to do an interview with your auntie about this. Why in the hell will a grown man go to another grown man and ask that grown man to get him a car so that he could do Uber? But Chris said somebody found out about it, hipped him to the game, and was like, he can't be driving your stuff around, and be doing Uber off your stuff. Like, what? If you are Uber, if you're an Uber driver out there, let me know if you could use somebody else's car to do Uber. But allegedly, according to Chris, this what the hell he wanted to do. I'm like, no, she ain't gonna spill a tea on here. She gonna spill a tea in it, you know what I'm saying, in the interview. Because I've told when she's out here, I want her to be my niece. But I just know she out here, so I just want to let you know, Ashley, you wanted to give an account for that. So you may as well call, get that phone, boop, 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 dial them 7 digits to your daddy. Let your daddy know that auntie need to know, is this true or is this alleged tea? Okay? All right. And so we move on. Question number 4. Did Chris really sponsor Annie without Nikki knowing about it? Did he? Here's the answer. For the show's purpose, they thought it would be more drama or better if she acted as if she did not know about the sponsorship. Now, this is according to Nikki. Really? So she knew about the sponsorship. But what she ended up just telling us, okay, Merlin A says Stoops, okay. She ended up saying what happened was they were sitting at the table. Everybody knew that, basically, they had brought these people in to, help David sponsor her because, basically David was Brokeback Mountain and didn't have anything. She said at the table when they were talking about the sponsorship, Nikki says that she picked her telephone up and started Googling on her telephone. Okay? Okay, Brandy, stupid is not a good look. She said she picked her telephone up and everybody discovered at the table that the sponsorship was 10 years. She said that's the part that she didn't know. But she played into the game of, this particular show and said, I'm going to go ahead on and play into this, act dumb. She says that she believes that the producers already knew that this was a 10-year sponsorship type thing. And so, basically her and Annie found it at the same time. Nikki alleges that, basically the producers are really, really messy. She was like, they messy as hell. They say stuff, they instigate and agitate your ass and convince you to say different things. And no, you're not late, Brittany. And so it's like, but you played into it. You played into that. And so yes, all of that scripted or alleged scripted stuff may have been scripted in some ways, but some of that stuff you said out your mouth and some of that stuff that you did, it was who you were. It is who you are. I mean, straight up and down. So she said they actually found out, they believe that the producers knew. She said, she said what they do is they take stuff and they script it and they make it look like something else. They cut it up and they break it down. So question number 5, do the producers cause conflicts with the couples? Okay. She said yes. They will ask you a question and then turn around a week later and ask you the same question. And then they take the best of the answer and they put that together. They also, Chris and Nikki also allege that basically the question that they put for one answer, the answer that they put for one question, they'll tape it together, switch it up, and make that the answer to another question that don't have anything to do with the other one. What the entire hell? Why would you voluntarily be on a show like this? Like, you're not getting paid. Bitch, if I'm telling you, if I'm on a show like this, I'm acting my ass off, okay? I'm causing all kinds of drama. I'm tearing up tables. I'm causing all kinds of ruckus. I'm doing all of that kind of stuff. Because if you're going to have me out there looking like a complete and entire butthole, I am going to get paid for it. I'm not going to do anything free. And then there's certain things that I will not even do free. And I know that, there was a petition for me to come out there and, be the host. They couldn't have anybody real like your auntie as the host, because I would be throwing it down, tearing it down, and asking questions all up out to just flat out of the top of my head and the bottom of my heart. I could not go on something like this and compromise my integrity, compromise my character, because you're going to tell me that you think that this would make something look better than something else. No, the hell with that. I'm going to keep it all the way real out here. That's right, Pepe. Boom. Okay, boom. All right, boom. I can't. I'm not. And then you're not going to have me make other people look bad. It's bad enough that they look bad. It's bad enough that they allowing somebody to convince them that this is okay and this is the right way. Oh, hell no. If I'm going to come out there, I'm going to come out there real and authentic. Because at the end of the day, I got to sign that check. Okay? And I am not going to... I ain't going to write no check that my ass can't cash. And it's just as simple as that. It's no other way for me to say that. I ain't going to pretend. I ain't going to fake. I ain't doing none of that. If I come out there and I act a complete and total butthole, that's how I want to act. That is who it is. That's who I am. So, okay, look. So they saying that they take the questions and the answers and they switch them up and put them all together and make them appear that you said something at the time. TLC, to me, they're not even paying that much. They're not paying that much. But see, when you sign them non-disclosure agreements and all of that kind of stuff, they got your ass on the hook. You won't hook auntie. And that's a faux show. Because if I came out there and I was all hooked up, tied up, tangled up, y'all would have no respect for me. You wouldn't have any respect for anything that I say out here on these YT streets if y'all knew that I was compromising and selling myself out. That is not your auntie. That is not what I'm about. That is not what I do. I don't embarrass people like that. You know what I'm saying? I could not be malicious and embarrass somebody just to get a check, a Google check, a TOC check, or whatever kind of check. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The hell with that. So then they asked the question about the massage. How much of the part of the massage was real? How much of it wasn't? So Nikki said that she was uncomfortable with the question, but Chris went with it. She said Annie was uncomfortable. When they asked about the massage, y'all trip out. This is how the massage thing came across, okay, according to Chris and Nikki. So basically, they were over there in Thailand. And, on every little beach corner, they got these people that do foot massages and stuff like that. So they had their babies with them, allegedly. The babies, they showed a clip of the babies getting little foot massages. So the TLC, nope, not TLC, the producers of this particular show, not TLC, the producers of this particular show said, Chris, wouldn't you like Annie to give you a massage? When they asked the question, Chris said that Annie was uncomfortable. And she was like, I'm really uncomfortable with that. Nikki was uncomfortable, but he playing around because he said, I'm the type of type of person, I go with the flow. Not if you my husband, you ain't go. I got some flow for you. Oh, I got some flow for that ass. So, so basically, he said by the time it came out, it was all jacked up, and he had to make it look authentic. And so Nikki was like, well, okay, well, explain that. So he was like, I said it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Who does that? For something that's not even authentic, for something that's going to make this girl look uncomfortable, for liking it. Well, we did like it, and we was, talking about it. But at the same time, come on. Nikki says, because we were main characters, we felt like, okay, we're not main characters on the show, so they really ain't gonna trip off of that. Now, if you showing up and your ass is in the seat, you're a main character. We don't give a damn whether or not you are main. We don't know who's main characters and who's not main characters. We don't know who's on the cast and who's not on the cast. All we know is that ass is on TV. You on 90 Day Fiancé, and we're going to judge your ass, okay? We're going to judge you as either crazy, stupid, or deranged. One or the other, okay? Very few people on 90 Day Fiancé actually look like they got some sense. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm hope she got some sense out there. Because if not, we're going to come out here and we're going to do what we do. We're going to do what we do. So he said, he said he walked away feeling dirty. Bitch, I guess you did. Anytime you're sitting at the table with your wife, and then you talking about somebody giving you a Thailand massage, and then you just sit it over and over and over again, you needed to feel dirty when you walked around across from the table, because your ass was. You were dirty. Right, Lucille Ball said, I thought they were cast members. They weren't cast members because they wasn't being paid. Just like the first year when Ashley was out there, Ashley wasn't being paid. Now, I don't know whether or not Ashley is being paid or she isn't being paid. But guess what? We going to find out, ain't we? That's what makes you a cast member, when you start getting paid. Nikki said she told everybody, this ain't high road. This ain't, I don't like this. I don't like how my husband's being portrayed. Your husband signed up for that. Your husband sat there and said that he thought that he should have got more TV time. What the entire freak is going on? Okay? Don't forget, y'all, when you come into the room, hit that thumbs up button so I know you here. YouTube know your ass is here too. Okay? Thank you. Number 7. Question number 7. Were you paid? Hell no. They were not paid. Number 8. Did you sign a confidentiality agreement? No. But we did sign release forms that it was all right for y'all to, basically show the footage and all of that kind of stuff. But I would have to put an addendum in there. Don't make me look like an asshole. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to release this, but if you make me look like an asshole out here, I'm coming for your papers. I'm just saying. They did agree to keep the outcomes of the show private. So along with signing release forms, they signed a form that said that they would keep all the outcomes of the show private until the thing was done. Number 9. How long was the filming? Nikki says that she was filming from March to November. She says in all actuality, she was pregnant. So, when her friends were seeing her, they was like, you lost a lot of weight, or, you seem like you gained weight. She said because they was filming, not consistently, but filming from March to November. You think I'm going to let somebody have that much time in my life? Let me see how long that is. Let's see. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. I'm going to have you up in my life for 9 months filming. Bitch, please. Ain't no way in the world I would have somebody filming that much of my life. 9 months. I done had a baby, a whole village of children. For real? And you won't getting paid? You filming my life from March to November, and my black ass ain't getting paid. So, like, really, like, really, for real, who's looking like the dummy here? Don't look like it's the show. Number 10. They are, in number 9, they also says that David was having problems getting a visa. They said he had some stuff going on in his life, and he was having a problem getting a visa. Chris, so Nikki goes on to say, Chris, you had to step in and have your writers write how they met Chris. She was like, but did I say that? He said, no, David did that. David did that. So all this was a scam. This was a scam from the beginning. See, the thing about it is when you expose one person, you expose yourself too. Because she slipped up and said that, Chris had to, really help. And from my understanding, he couldn't get a visa. He was having a problem getting a visa, allegedly, because of back child support. Now, I don't know how true that is. That's another question we can ask Ashley. But from my understanding, he couldn't get out the country and couldn't get a visa and all that kind of stuff because that ass owed back child support. What the fuck? Like I said, this is alleged, and I don't know whether or not this is true. But I'm just saying, I'm having I'm having a little difficulty swallowing some of this stuff. Number 10, were the scenes real? Were all the scenes real? Any scripts or planned events did they bring up certain topics or planned events? Nikki said yes, yes, and yes. Chris said not all of them. He said the scene that was with Antonio, he said that was real than a mofo. He said that joint was not scripted at all. He said Antonio straight. When we saw Antonio kirking out, Antonio was straight kirking out. They said what we did not see was that David was completely and totally inebriated, like drunker than a mofo. You understand what I'm saying? He came in there and he was disrespectful to Nikki. He was going off on Nikki and going off on everybody. And the producers of this particular show was basically scared and running around. He said he went upstairs to take the girls upstairs because, everything had started popping off. Then all of a sudden, he heard all this noise downstairs. Antonio basically, black side straight came out on that ass because he was disrespecting Nikki, disrespecting him, calling him out his name, and all kinds of stuff. Right, allegedly. And then, basically when he came downstairs, he had to go in and minister the word to David, who had locked himself in a closet. Chris had to tell David, look, you need to stop. You need to stop. Antonio asked them, because he was embarrassed, he didn't like how everything went. Allegedly, Antonio asked the staff of this particular show to cut that scene, and they was like, nah, buddy. This gold. This is ratings gold right here. We put this up in the advertisement. Oh, they going to be up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching this over and over and over again. And let me tell you something. They was right. Because we rode this daggone scene like a horse. Trust me, we did. But what they did not show was David ass up in the closet, allegedly. Oh, I would have gave $50 to see that. You understand? Well, I would have super chatted my own ass to see that. Sure would have. Oh, Ashley said 100. Okay. Okay, Ashley. They told him they would not remove the scene because they had no control over it. Oh no, they got control. Because if what Nikki and Chris are saying is true, then guess what? They got control. They said David's drinking, his drinking problem, his problem with being inebriated, his problem with the Jim Beam, his problem with the whiskey, his problem with the vodka, his problem with the tequila, his problem with the margaritas, his problem with the hurricanes, his problem with the Patron, his problem with the Ciroc, his problem with the Belvedere, his problem with the brandy is real. They said that joint real. David, seriously, they said you got a straight up drinking problem. Then they said, you know, that right now they have people, they said that the show has just wrapped up. You know, this particular show has just wrapped up in different countries. So they said, you know, as far as the sponsorship, they got people from Africa, people from Europe, and people from Canada contacting them to sponsor their asses. They said they got people from these different places asking them to sponsor their ass. They said if you could take care of David and Annie, take care of us too. You know what? Nothing beats a failure but a try. So number 12, are you still sponsoring Annie? They said no. And they said that David and Annie have been struggling, trying to figure out why the hell that ass ain't still being sponsored. What nerve of her? She said, hold up, how the United States gonna let him cut me off? I thought this bitch was gonna be taking care of me for 10 years. All this house and property and stuff that they got, they ain't sponsoring my ass no more. He said, nah. Nikki said that there's a difference between the K-1 visa and getting a green card. They said, you know, basically there's a difference between the two of it. They didn't elaborate on it, but they was like, basically, Chris was like, I'm thankful because I thought that I was going to be stuck doing that for the rest of my life for 10 years. But, you know, all of a sudden they out of it. I said, oh, okay. Okay. He said, we ain't sponsoring her no more. But they got other people. Okay. No. Janice, they not sponsoring David and Annie anymore. They didn't elaborate. But good for them. Question number 13. Did they screw with you or your husband to make you look some kind of way? Nikki said, no, they couldn't do that with me because I'm a soul sister number 10. And what you see is what you get. So basically, no, they did not do anything like that with us. Y'all, I'm trying to come back. I'm trying to come back with everything I got. I'm trying to come back. Oh, my God, I don't feel like doing no part 3. Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in there. Put a 1. Put a 1. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please tell me, can you hear me? Oh, my God. Oh, all I've got are these broken clocks. Oh, my God. Okay, so y'all can still hear me. We going on with this. So he said, Chris said that, yeah, basically they could screw with him because, you know, he has that kind of personality where he joke around. And so he's easy to be, you know, scripted and everything. So Chris said that, you know, because he's a versatile type of character, yeah. All right. Question number 14. Did you know you were going to be on the show? So Nikki's like, yes, we knew. Nikki has always been a fan of the show, and she is the one who told David to apply for the show since day one. She said because she did that because every girl that David met, he said he was going to marry. So David met with one of their friends who is a writer and had them come up with the how did we meet story. So basically David sat down with a writer, and this writer wrote a story, concocted a story on how him and Annie met, and that's how they went with it. Nikki says that she knows every show. She's been watching the show since day one, and she was the one who proposed this to David through Chris. And so you thought that this wasn't scripted when you had him? She said when David, went out there and applied for it and everything, after this guy wrote his story, he got picked for the damn show. I said, okay. Question number 15. How did you get on the show? Chris and David's relationship, they said, is real. Chris went on to allege that David is broke. He said he a broke back mountain type guy, okay? While David was in China, they did say that he was working as a teacher. You know what I'm saying? And Nikki was like, when he was laying around and doing whatever he do with the woo boo 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 boo, but that ass is really broke. And, basically they really offer it. So it's just, it's sad as hell because basically, Nikki, you the one that set the man up for the show. You went to Chris and set it up and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know what? You already had a vested interest in the outcome of the particular show. And basically a vested interest on what was going on. Okay, so number 16, did you recommend the show to David? She said, yes, I love the show and I know every person on the show. Same thing. Number 17, what room are the confession scenes done in and when are they taped? She said, yes, the confession scenes are done, either right before a scene happens or right after a scene happens. They sometimes sit down with them before the scene and say, what your black ass gonna do today? Or what your brokeback mountain ass gonna do today? Or what your fat ass gonna do today? You riding the camel today? What you doing today? And if they find out that you're doing something before then they'll go ahead on and tape the confessions before. If not, they tape the confessions after. I said, you know what? They some smart mofos. You understand what I'm saying? So, when we looking at all these screens, these things with River and all of them getting ready to come up, all these things that's getting ready to come up, y'all, this stuff it's unfortunate that this stuff is scripted, but I'm telling you, I don't know how my girl Ashley is gonna be looking out there. I'm a little bit worried, and I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm a little bit worried about how this damn season gonna be turning out, because now having known all this stuff, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What the hell my girl got herself into? But she might ride or die with that ass. But I'm trying to tell you, I don't know how she will do. Okay, so question number 18. What does a sponsor mean, being financially responsible? So they said being a sponsor is being in a contract. I'm going to read it the way they said it. You sign a contract with the government to say that she cannot apply for government funds for food. So basically, that's what a sponsorship is. A sponsorship is not them financially taking care of her. They just making sure that ass got something to eat. So you basically, if you sponsor her for 10 years and you go to the BJ's or the Costco's or one of them big stores, you gonna buy enough oodles and noodles for that ass to eat all year. You know what I'm saying? Throw some goldfish on the side for that ass. Number 19, was your brother's reaction towards David real? Antonio, she said, is not my brother. He's my best friend. I told the producers that he was my best friend. They knew that he was my best friend. But because I mentioned one time in there that he was my brother, I call him like my brother, that type of thing. She said that they was like, look, we going to go with that. You done already said it, so that's what we going with. We going to tell the world that he your brother. It was never her intention to manipulate the situation or to manipulate us or to make us think that he was her brother. It was their intention to make us believe that that was her brother. I said, God dang. So whatever you say, that's what's going to go, that's the story that they going to stick with because that's what's sold. It's sold. They sold us on it, having us thinking that, that was her brother and everything. You know what I'm saying? So they said, did the production team tell them to overreact? She said, no. They didn't tell Antonio or her or any of them to overreact. But what they did tell Antonio to do was to go out to the pool and make Annie say things to Annie to make her feel uncomfortable. Nikki alleged that Antonio was like, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I don't know that chick like that. I don't really know her. Why would I go out there and try to make her feel uncomfortable? And so when he went out there, the stuff popped off at the pool because they said the drunk stuff that David was doing was real. So, of course, Antonio reacted to that. But why would you as a producer have a woman that's coming over from another country and want her to be agitated by some black American man? As African Americans, we are already stereotyped enough as being ignorant, aggressive, and all of that kind of stuff. Why would you have this black man? I don't know if he's gay, or if he's not gay, if he's bi. It doesn't even make a difference. He's an African American man. Why would you have him go out there and do this? I mean, these producers, oh boy. I can't wait to see the 20th. But it's going to give me a whole different perspective on the show. You know why? Because now I'm looking at the show and I'm realizing, okay, this stuff is really not everything that I think it is. And these people are not as crazy as I thought they were. Because, it's one thing, when we're looking at the show and then, we walk away from the show and we working, we doing work or work out in the garden, or maybe we brushing or, brushing our teeth in the morning, or just singing, don't worry, be happy. And you think about these crazy mofos on 90 Day Fiancé, and you be like, damn, are they really that crazy? And it's good to know that they not that damn crazy. But like I said, I'm afraid for my girl Ashley this season. Ashley, my auntie is, oh, Lord, you need to call me. All right, so on question number 21, would you do it again? Chris said he would have done the show again, but his wife said no. She said hell to the no. And he said his marriage come first. So he, basically was like, Nikki was like, I did it the first time for Chris. And so Chris didn't do it this time for me. And that's mad. I got mad respect for that because, when you in a marriage, you want to make sure that you cover your partner. Question number 22. Do you regret it? Was it a good or a bad experience? They said that they don't regret it, but they were put through a lot. The taping, the editing, the stuff like that, the attacks on social media, the things that happened, things that people said. Because I know, one thing about it was I saw Nikki and Chris on the show. I said some comments out there on my YouTube channel, but I never went after them personally or tried to attack them in their on their Instagram feed, their Snapchat, their Periscope, their YouTube channel. Like, I never went out and made comments on their page because I really did not have to. I was basically getting intel anyway, so what the hell I gotta go after them for? And then plus, I don't want nobody going after me because when a bitch go after me up on my page, I block and delete that ass. Okay, so Chris said he learned a lot. He learned a lot about David. He learned that, his wife, Nikki, said he had to learn that David really wasn't about nothing and that he didn't have anything. And she said that he really got to see who David really was and that he was the type of mofo who always had his hands out and always thought that he, could get a hand out from him. So she said that Chris had to see this. He had to see David for who he really was so that he could learn in friendships that he has to have boundaries within those friendships. They asked him in question 23, how long had he known David? And he said 13 years. He said David basically really had a business And, he said he met him in politics, and he said David had a business and he would, give some of his business, award some contracts to Chris. I don't know what happened to David businesses or anything like that. We're going to have to find out from Ashley, or maybe find out from David and Annie this year. Maybe they'll be willing to interview with us. Maybe Ashley's mom will be willing to interview. I really would like to know a lot about it. I think that, maybe they should, at least say something as it relates to what was released on the video. You got to, everybody gets an opportunity to face their accuser. Everything that has been said here is not, this is not about TLC. These are producers. Again, they did not identify the show, and so I'm not identifying the show. So if I say TLC in any part of the show, I did not mean TLC. I meant the show that has a number in it that is behind number 89 and in front of 91, as Chris and Nikki said. And I'm talking about a show that has 7 blank in a week, 7 days come in a week. So as far as I'm concerned, if I do the math and I solve the puzzle, it is 90 days. So I don't know if that's the show. They didn't say that's what the name of the show was. They didn't say it was TLC. So I'm not identifying it as anything either. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, imagine if Annie gets pregnant, Ashley's going to have a baby sister. Exactly. And Ashley said ew immediately. Okay, so, basically, y'all, we're going to be on a bumpy ass ride. Chris and Nikki are supposed to come out and do a part 2, and I'm here for it. Your auntie, as soon as I find out about it, I'm going to let y'all asses know about it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you up in this room so that YouTube know that you was here, and goddamn it, I know you was here too. Y'all, look. As it relates to these shows, we know that a lot of this stuff is scripted. What I did not know that it was this percentage of things that are scripted. And so it's like, wait a minute. Okay, thank you. So y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, and from what they were saying, they be cutting and editing all kinds of stuff. And you know what? That's why Danielle was looking all psychotic. I wonder if they told her to cross her eyes like that. Like, is Danielle's eyes really crossed like that? I sure wish I could. This thing wasn't frozen, so I could do a couple of Danielle impersonations and some Nicole's, because I've been getting Nicole impersonations down, and Arzon. I'm going to come out one week, I'm going to blow my hair out like Arzon, and I'm going to pack like a whole bunch of Royal Crown grease up in it, and I'm like gonna have my hair like half semi-straight and half semi-nappy, is, you know what I'm saying? And so, I'm basically gonna come out here and do a couple of Arzons. If my screen wasn't frozen like that, like I certainly would do it. But I wonder if Danielle's eyes is really crossed, or if they told her, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know at this point. I mean, is like Nicole really fat, or is that scripted too? Like was she really riding on the camel, or did they like fake that out? Like I'm trying to figure out now, is River really whooping? Is Pedro really whipping River's ass, or is his shirt like really got ripped off by a tiger, a lion, and a bear? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell. You know what I'm saying? At this point, we don't know, we don't know whether or not these people really married. I mean, do we see any marriage certificates? You know what I'm saying? I just don't, I'm so confused now, because I don't know what's real and what is fake. I don't know whether or not Pedro really was talking about the owl. Did they tell him to talk about the owl in the house? I mean, was Marley really married to him? Was he really, beefing with the daughter? Did they tell him to say that, make that comment to the daughter at the pool table? Like, at this point, point, you don't know what. So this season for me is just a little bit scarred and a little bit tainted, because now I'm be looking at everything and I'm gonna be wondering, okay, you know, is this scripted? Is this Memorax, or is this real? I mean, you know, like, what is this? Is this like, you know, the Game of Thrones? I mean, throw some Cersei up in that joint. You know what I'm saying? A couple of dragons. And you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's really going on, but I tell you what, I'm here for it. May 20th cannot come fast enough for my fat ass, and I hope it can't come fast enough for you. I love y'all to pieces. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel so you can be here when it goes down on the YT, because I'm telling you right now, sis, and I will see y'all on the flip side. As soon as they reveal something, I'm telling you right now, we gonna be out this mofo acting a goddamn fool. Love y'all. Mwah.